Hello, good morning, everyone. So today is our fourth session of calibration, call calibration listening, and for today's session, DM Ynah Sagrada will be the one to host, and we'll do the coaching sessions for all of us. So hope we learned something new today.
Yes. Yay. So Ynah, the floor is yours.
Good morning, guys. Well, as what PM Mark said, this is our fourth session, and hopefully I've learned, proper coaching since I'm just newly promoted supervisor.
Disclaimer.
Okay. My agent that we're going to listen for today is Kay Jenkins. Okay. Okay. My focus metric for her is my VOC. Can you see it, guys?
Scroll down. Thank you.
Ay, ayan.
Shift F5, press F5.
27.
Can you say your time?
Okay, her my VOC for January is 5.17, and then for February 5.13, March is 5, and then for April 1. There's only one survey, and then for IOCR 24.56%, then for February 24.85. For March is 20.86, then for April 21.95.
I have a question. When did you get the agent?
March.
Month of March.
March,
Okay.
yes.
Alright.
And that's a tenure, right?
Yeah.
More than 180
Yes.
days.
Yes.
More than 180 pounds. I'm sorry.
And then her total CRT 496 for January, for the month of January, then February is 504, then for the month of March 589, then April for month of April is 519. Then for 2.0, she's very consistent to get a 3. And then for January and February, same with Feb.
Okay, so your focus metric is VOC.
Yes.
Okay. So why did you come up with the VOC?
As you can see, with her IOCR improved.
Okay.
For month of March is 20.86, then month to date
Okay.
is 21.95.
So not hitting VOC for the last 4 months.
Yes.
Okay.
But I like her transfer rate.
Yeah.
Yes. 26.
So, but there is a correlation between the ICR and my VOC.
Yes.
Because as we checked 2.0, there's no 2.0 for that.
For the month of March.
The first like there was. Okay, that's the reason you changed it.
No,
Okay,
but
so
there-
33.
there's none.
Okay, there's no survey for her NCSQ for month of March.
Yes.
None. Okay.
Oh, I only have 6 agents that have
Is
a
there a possibility that you cannot get a survey for an agent?
Yes.
sir.
Okay,
Or
but if it's gonna be 2 consecutive months, let's send an email to quality. Okay.
Then for positive sales, $24.74 for the month of January. Then February, $41.83. Then for the month of March, $41.19. Then for the month of April, $49.45. Then for transfers and conference, for the month of January, that would be 26%, then 24.50 on the month of February, then for the month of March, 22.77, then for the month of April, 27.47.
Okay.
Then here's the behaviors. First is acknowledging customers' issue to personalize the interaction. Then the second one is providing assurance of our intent to resolve the customer's issue.
Okay.
Then the third one is show you care by demonstrating or vocalizing care statement.
Okay. So it's more on the experience side.
Yes.
Okay. So what action plans have you done for the agent?
Remote
first
monitoring to check for the consistency. For the acknowledging customer issue, remote monitoring to check for the consistency if the agent is practicing the behavior. And then side by side with the agent to provide immediate feedback. Then ring around the role play to model the behavior. Then ensure to acknowledge the customer concern on all calls by vocalizing it right away after the customer states the issue.
Okay. So I have a question for those behaviors that you were able to identify. My question is there a specific call types or specific issues wherein this agent is not exhibiting those behaviors?
Actually, I've listened all of her calls and she's very consistent. She's not providing any-
Not really providing acknowledgement statements. Okay.
There's no type of calls that she's providing acknowledgement.
How does she present herself? Is she more on resolving it right off the bat?
Okay.
Resolution driven.
Okay. So when you take a look at the VOC's report, so most of the low scores are coming from the experience side.
Yes.
I also had how about the comment section?
Comments.
So I have the same rep who's resolving, but she's getting like, she sounded not friendly.
Okay. Is there like a comment from customers from the
There
VOC?
is, but only short comments like
Okay.
that. She's
So
great.
no specific
No
negative
specific.
or opportunity from the agent on that side. Okay, then we will be able to listen to the agent's call today. Alright, so take note of those behaviors and let's see if after listening to 4 calls today, those behaviors would arise.
Alright, could you go back again to the slide?
The behaviors?
Okay. Just the behaviors.
Okay. Any question before we listen to the calls? None? Okay. Alright, we're ready. So those are random calls for today, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the third one?
This is Carly. How can I help you?
Yes, I'm at the T-Mobile shop right now. My phone keeps on freezing and turning off by itself, and I diagnosed it as not the battery. We've already factory resetted the phone here at this facility, and they're telling me I have a warranty on the phone. So I could get me one sent overnight.
All right, let me go ahead and open up the account and assist you. I'm going to be filing a handset change for you. Can I have your first and last name, please?
Carlos Herrera.
Okay. And is this going to be for the line ending in 8325?
Yes.
Samsung Galaxy Note 4, right? Hello?
Yes.
Samsung Galaxy Note 4, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to just go ahead and pull up the exchange form here. Please stay on the line.
Okay.
One moment.
So there is a dead air
Dead air.
for how many minutes? Too long dead air. How many minutes is that, Tom?
I tried that.
6 minutes.
Hello?
There we go.
How many minutes?
6 minutes and the whole time is like 4 minutes.
Hello?
Okay, just don't fast forward it.
Is anybody there? Hello?
It's just, is that for today?
March 30.
March 30. Don't we have any call for today?
There is.
That's fine. So can you fast forward it and let's see if that's gonna be a disconnected call or what? And then mark the number and review the account. And let's go coach the agent.
Hello?
There we go.
It's for
I think it's gonna let go.
It's called avoidance. Okay. So so it's about to end, right? Okay. So there is no conversation. Okay. Can you check if the agent did a call back?
There is a call now.
Okay. Can you listen?
That's 9 seconds. That's
9
not
seconds.
gonna
So
work.
there's no conversation.
It's not gonna work.
Okay. So can you take note of the account and review that later on? Send me a report as to what happened on that call. And
Try to get the calls for midweek.
yep, coach the agent and provide necessary sanction. Okay? Did you take note of the account?
Yes.
Okay. So can we listen to her calls for today?
Is that included to the 4 calls?
Yes. That's the behavior.
The call dropped, right?
The customer hung up the phone
Oh, okay.
because he's been saying hello multiple times.
Hello from the other side.
That's for today.
Hi, this is Carly. How can I help you?
Yes. I'm calling because I'm calling because I keep every time I get a bill or whatever, I'm seeing that I got this Family Anywhere plan still up there, and then it keeps coming in as a text message, and I've been told her to take it off a long time ago.
Alright, so you have already requested to be unsubscribed to Family there, but it's still showing up. Is that right?
Yeah, it keeps coming through text message that the Family Anywhere plan is active and all this stuff. It keeps coming up every month.
Well, that can be annoying. Let me go ahead and open up the account and double check on the subscription. Can I have your first and last name, please?
Kelsey, right?
And the last 4 digits of your social?
1456.
Let me just double check on the subscription here. Give me 1 quick second, alright?
Do not fast forward any of the dead air because let's listen on how it's impacting the call. There we go. That's behavior.
She's not knocking.
Yes, that's the behavior. What is she doing on that interval?
Oh yeah, there. Don't see the message.
Either she's chatting with her secretly or eating.
Yes, we are.
Should probably be eating.
What?
If anyone wants to do an intermission.
Eating?
No pun intended.
Anyone who wants to do an intermission number? Oh wait. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I'll ask later. Then I have a question for you. Okay. Yeah, that's too long. So how long is that call?
It's a 6
6
minute
minutes.
call.
Okay, that's sweet.
We're down to 4.
Okay, that's all. That's all customers end, right?
Yes.
Okay, can you move? Can you fast forward it? Taking most of our time. Okay. There you go.
Thank you for patiently waiting on the line. Sorry for the wait time.
I'm waiting because it was a family anywhere plan that I'm confused about. It keeps popping up.
Hey, what I did was I have already removed the subscription, and from what I see here, there was a subscription active on the account, which I have already requested to be stopped, as well as I have requested for a refund on the charge of that particular app. So I have double checked from February to April up until today, and it is showing that there is only one subscription for family wear and one charge. So I have already requested for that to be refunded, and you will no longer be seeing messages with regard to this particular app.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anything else that I can help you with?
No, that's it.
Thank you so much for doing business with T-Mobile. You have a wonderful day ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Alright, third call.
Hi, this is Carly. How can I help you? If I was supposed to check on our refund,
Put a mark on those calls that we've missed.
It's checking on the status of the refund. Can I have your first and last name? Avery Green. Thank you so much. Let me just go ahead and check when this refund was requested, alright?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Let me just go ahead and check, and if you can see stay on the line.
I'm not there a while.
No.
Enough said. Behavior.
And we have.
So can you forward it again?
It's a 4-minute call. That's it.
4-minute call?
Let's wait. Let's wait. It's just a 4-minute call.
Hello? Hello?
Is she removing her headset during those conversations?
We have one. Last few seconds. 22 minutes resolution. 22 seconds resolution. If he's gonna talk. If she's gonna talk.
Take note of that number. So those are call avoidance.
We had a dead one again.
Okay, No.
callback.
Is there a callback?
Nope, none. 2 calls came in. No call
Okay.
back.
All right. So I don't want to listen to another call anymore. So I have a question for you, Ynah. So how many call listening session have you had for this agent since March?
Since March, every week I had like 3 calls.
Okay.
Then-
So were you able to identify those behaviors from the calls that you've listened?
Yes,
Okay. So have you coached this agent about that?
yes.
Okay.
I coached the agent, and then she said to me that she will practice the behavior, because the behavior that the first one is acknowledging, as as what you heard in her on the second call. There's no acknowledging statement, and they're consistent that there's no acknowledging statement.
Sorry to interrupt you on that. So about the long dead air, dead air is not a behavior; it's a result of a behavior. So during those idle times, so what is the reason why this agent's not talking? And all of those are call avoidance. Customers are hanging up on the call, and then
Sometimes I roam around since I don't have a senior rep. So lately I always roam around and check them what they're doing. And then I noticed her that she's removing her headset if she's
so did you
checking
coach her
something.
on that?
To be honest, no.
Not yet. Okay. All right. So okay. So for everyone's sake, so what is the behavior on those calls that we've listened, so that everyone is calibrated on how we're gonna coach this agent? Because basically, this is really impacting, and this is not really something that we have to tolerate. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
This is a perfect example of an agent that is causing us our performance to decrease. And if we're gonna let this agent do that, I know this is a nerdy agent, then what's gonna happen?
Can you pull up Merced?
What do you want to check?
I have a question for Ynah.
Sure.
So during those times that when you were able to
roaming?
observe that the agent is removing her headset,
Right.
what is she doing? Is she looking for the resolution or?
Yes,
She'll
checking
approach
for
you.
the
She
resolution.
is.
Then she'll ask in the chat, in our chat room, and then I'll go to her. Then we'll check the account.
That could be, but the calls with this into it's not a rocket science situation.
Right.
So it could be
Considering
on-
And
everything.
consider.
And-
Considering
Yeah.
everything.
Right. I agree. So there is where your role will
come in.
come in, right? So why are we letting this agent do those activities without us coaching? Because this is really critical, right? I hate to say this, but this is really critical to the program, and yet we are letting this agent do that. What if we have a lot of agents doing that and we're not coaching them, right? I'm not, I'm not mad at you, Ynah, or any of you guys, but this is a perfect example that we're not really consistently doing our job as a supervisor. This agent is a tenured agent, so most likely this behavior has been existing for a very long time, and we haven't coached this agent on that. Right?
Right. Can you pull up Merced for a second? I just want to do a little math, because definitely those are drop-off calls, but she maintained to get a good
ICR.
ICR numbers.
What's the difference between filtered and unfiltered? Is that what you want to get?
Okay, so probably we can check it later.
Okay.
So let's discuss the behavior first, because we wanted to correct the behavior of this agent, right? So for the numbers, let's check it afterwards, and we'll have a one-on-one talk with Ynah, so that we can create a great action plan for this agent. But what do you think is the most impactful behavior? Definitely, those behaviors that we have here in front of our screen is not, or did not exhibit on those calls we've listened, right? You guys agree?
Yes.
What do you think is a behavior?
Keeping the customer engaged.
Humanizing the call by keeping the customer engaged.
Humanizing the call by keeping the customer engaged. Okay. Okay. So no one says it's dead air.
I think for that, because it's humanizing, but it's like what they mentioned when the clients were here. It's humanizing the call, but how can you coach the agent with, oh, try to humanize your call?
Right.
I think we can be more specific about
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So,
Because when you say humanizing, so when I do my spiel, it can be humanized. I can say that it's
For you,
humanized
yeah.
for me, but you can't say that it's humanized for you. So it's subjective, right?
Yes.
So what do you think is the behavior?
For me, it's keeping the customer informed of what you're doing and why.
Okay. By,
Telling the what and why of your actions.
Play by play.
because a behavior is always accompanied by the actions. So keeping the customer engaged by,
Play by play or verbalize.
here we go. There's a lot, right? So we don't know. So what we wanna know is the root cause as to why this agent is not doing that. Right? Okay, so that's the reason why we have to calibrate right now as to what's gonna be the approach for the agent when we coach her on that. Right? So I think it's gonna be a very exciting coaching session. Right? So we need to really prepare. Ynah, you need to really prepare. So let's do a mock coaching session before we pull out the agent. So that, right? And I need to hear I want to hear from a different one, not Pat, because Pat did that already.
Let's try and dry run.
So I think I have a. So my question, I have a question, guys, for you, for Ynah. So how are you going to coach that agent without the mock coaching yet? So what's your plan?
Since the agent is controller, so basically
My personality is a controller. Okay. So let me act as an agent.
Ah!
You have a perfect example.
That's
a perfect example.
Perfect, right? Okay, go. This is a good learning session for everyone, guys. You have those kind of agents, right?
yes.
And that is a very good behavior that we have to correct. Correcting the behavior doesn't necessarily mean that we will be terminating this agent, right? Because it's gonna be unfair for her. Because if she's not been coached yet on that, it's gonna be unfair, right?
We're not sure if she's aware of the
Right,
impact.
right. So let's all be objective this time.
Okay.
Okay, so what's your plan? How are you? Lay out your plan and then we'll provide feedback before you go to the mock coaching session.
Basically, as you could, as what you heard in all of her calls, dead air. And then first I'll coach her with the dead air. Why she's
Do not coach her on the dead air because that's not a behavior we just mentioned earlier, right? Dead air is a result of the behavior. And the behavior was keeping the customer engaged by verbalizing, visual audits, or doing play-by-play. That's the behavior.
Oh.
Okay. So take note of that so you won't forget it. So what's your plan? How are you going to coach the agent? Are you going to let the agent listen to her calls? The one that we've listened to?
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys think that's a good one to do?
Yes.
That's fine. It's okay to ask questions. Feedback about that. How are you, Brian? How are you going to attack the agent? Are you going to coach the agent?
Well, first I want to correct Ynah.
Okay.
This is the perfect.
So no
opportunity.
offense to anyone who's
Yep.
being,
Yep.
right? This is a very good learning
Yep.
session, right?
Yes.
So we are open to each other and we're doing this for the sake of us learning, right?
Or being
Okay.
embarrassed about what we had listened to is another.
Right.
Being or having such an agent under your turf, that behavior
Right.
is something that first you should be feel, oops, it's kind of annoying for
Right.
you as a coach.
Right.
And then of course you should show the drive right off the bat.
Mhm.
Okay. For me, if I'm not gonna go for a mock coaching.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get the agent, and in front of you, I'm gonna coach her. I did not like
Okay.
what I have observed on
Okay.
call. I'm not gonna sugarcoat or anything, because that's something that prevents that agent to get something out of it. So that's simple. I'm not gonna do the mock coaching technically.
Okay, so you were saying that
Yep,
we're
I
not
would
gonna
rather
do
pull up the agent right off the
But
bat.
the reason why we want to do the mock coaching
I know.
session is we want to prepare Ynah or anyone who's going to coach the agent, because what we want to make sure is that before the agent, leave this room is that
She have something.
she has takeaways, and we want to make sure that all of the statements that Ynah will provide to this agent are statements that an agent can accept. Right? Remember, we're how many heads here in the room. So if we're gonna attack this agent a different way, and we haven't listened to that coaching session, then it's gonna be an opportunity for everyone, right? So that's the purpose of the mock coaching session.
Yeah, and I totally agree with Tris about that because we know for a fact that this is a tenured agent, so there might be a reason why she's doing it.
Right.
So if we attack her that way, and remember, coaching is not assessing past performances. So probably.
Well, I understand your concern, but the only reason I said that because pretending that's my agent. I know my agent.
And that's actually considering you are the ones gonna coach.
Yes.
But take note that Ynah is a newly promoted supervisor, so we have to assist, or any one of you guys is really not so tenured yet on the post, then we have to really assist them, or everyone, right? Okay, so this is a 360 opposite of what we've listened last week. So challenging, right? So for those who are applying for the position of a supervisor, your role is not really so easy, and you're gonna face a lot of those challenges. So it's the reason why I wanted to make sure that you are really ready for the post.
I guess it should be just prepared because at the end of the day, if the root cause boils to something that is not acceptable, then right off the bat we should correct it.
Right. And one more thing that you have to be careful of is that when you coach this agent, this is a tenured agent, right? When you coach her on that behavior, and you mentioned that she's a controller, right? And then I said, if I am the agent, well, I've been here 3 years already, no one coached me on that.
Right.
What if I said that? How are you going to accept it? Hey, Ynah, I've been with you for 2 months already, and you haven't coached me on that. It's actually happening every single call. Why is it that you just got it today?
Right.
So it's a slap on your face, right? So if we're not going to be preparing for those scenarios, then a controller can say that.
Yeah.
I will say whatever I want to say.
Exactly.
Right? Do you guys get the point?
Yes.
So you have to really prepare for that.
Go in.
Okay. So you ready? Then we'll provide feedback afterwards.
Okay, let's start with your plan.
Yeah, your plan
How
first.
do you
How are
plan?
you
Let's
going
start
to?
with opening. How do you plan to open the session with Jenkins?
Oh, do you like to do the mock call already on the agent? That's okay. That's okay. There's no right or wrong here. The reason why we have this caliber is because we want to make sure everyone is learning, right? You can do it. Who was able to handle Jenkins before? Lee. Okay. Who else?
Lee or John.
Okay.
Darren.
Darren?
She wouldn't do that.
Okay. Alright, so I'm the agent, so Ynah coach me now.
Okay, go. Mock coaching. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
So, hi Kay.
Hello.
Go.
Okay, the reason why I pulled you out for today is because I'm gonna coach you. I've listened to your calls. Then this is a follow-up coaching since I coached you before this one. And then I noticed that acknowledging customer issue, you're still not doing our action plan. So can you tell me what are the challenges where you're not exhibiting the action plan that we have discussed?
Well, as far as I know, I'm acknowledging customers' concern.
Then how can you say that you're acknowledging customer concern?
Okay. Rewind. I think you're still targeting your coaching those behaviors, right?
Yes.
So basically, those are not the behaviors that we want to correct as of the moment. It's that behavior that we discussed earlier, which is verbalized. Yeah. So forget about that. I know that you've coached the agent on that, so it's gonna be an awkward moment for you to transition to a new behavior. So I think the best thing to do is to still do a follow-up coaching session on those behaviors. Hey, can you still remember the cause of the coaching session that we had last time? So that it's gonna be normal as possible for the agent. What are your thoughts? Or do you want to go and directly coach the agent on that? Because it's really, I understand, it's really awkward for you, Ynah, to coach her on that because you coach her on a different behavior. Right? So if I'm the agent and you coach me on that, I'm not sure if I was really coached or not. It's really challenge for you to transition. So that's where we should be. There's a reason why we should really be capturing the right behavior. Right?
Let's do with the keeping customer engaged.
Okay, so coach her directly on that. So,
Well, something that I'd like to add on would be when you've opened the coaching session, it's as if it's very heavy. Right? Let's just try to be more light.
Right.
Part of the coaching session is first part, you have to celebrate something that you can see that she's doing good.
Okay.
Right? You mentioned that your previous coaching session was about acknowledgement statements. And with the 3 calls that we've listened, though it's not good calls, she was able to acknowledge. Right? And actually, it was a specific acknowledgement statement, which you could actually, hey, we've coached you on acknowledgement
that's
statements.
where the transition would happen.
Right? Because you are
coach
now exhibiting the action plan that we've made. That's a great job. But when we listen to this call, blah blah blah, we have heard another one that I think we need to look into further. Right? And I have this calls ready for you. So something like
Very good. So don't get into the emotions. Don't get into the emotion that we felt earlier when we heard those calls that it's really something negative. So transition to that, like what Daryl mentioned. Very good job, Daryl, on that. And then go from there. Okay, again? Okay. And then always make sure that when you're coaching the agent, your presence is always there. So you have to look me in my eyes. You have to be sincere. The gestures, your position.
And avoid checking the monitor.
Right. You can coach her on that without monitor. So just use your monitor when you listen to the call. Allow her to listen. Okay, aim.
Hi Jenkins. I put you out today for coaching session first. I'd like to commend you for, do you still remember the coaching session that we had about the behavior?
It's acknowledging customers.
Yes. I would like to commend you since you're, I heard of your calls and you're already exhibiting the action plan that we have discussed. And good job with that and keep it up. And then, lately, I've listened to your calls earlier, and then I noticed the dead area that I've noticed. Each and every call that each of your calls, there's always a dead air.
What do you mean dead air?
Keeping
Customer engaged.
What do you mean by that?
Like doing like play-by-play.
Chris,
Okay.
pull you up today
Okay.
because I need to talk to you about the behaviors that we've been working on.
Okay.
Still remember that? Great. I just want to let you know that we listened to 3 calls, and right off the bat, you were able to specifically acknowledge each situation, and I like it.
Okay.
So what I just want you to do is gotta continue what you've been doing.
Okay.
And the return of acknowledging the customer, right?
Yep.
Very good, very good. Now, we would need to move to another behavior that I need to talk about today. Are you good with that?
Okay.
Okay. First is, how do you feel about your BOC?
Not good. I'm not hitting my POCs for the past 4 months.
I like it.
I'm not getting any challenger bonus.
I know that you brought it up, and I'm here to kind of help you move to that BOC piece, okay? But I need you to work with me. Are you good with that?
Yes.
Great. Now, before I start, letting you know what I observed, I just heard you had a good, clear tone. You agree with that?
Yes, because I am a foreigner.
Right.
My last name is Jenkins, right?
Very good. So what are your advantages? If you're gonna throw that out.
And I'm beautiful.
Very good. The thing is, I just heard you're not keeping your customer engaged by telling them what you're doing, or verbalizing your actions. So I'm just wondering what's your challenge?
What do you mean I'm not keeping the customer updated? What do you mean by that?
Keeping your customer engaged. Remember when you talk to your customer about doing things, stuff about resolving their situation? More often than not, you leave the conversation blank.
Okay.
So your challenge right there is keeping him or her being updated. What are the things that you're doing?
Okay.
So I'm just a bit curious. I mean, you said it yourself.
I've been doing that for the last 3 years that I've been here.
Right, and that's exactly why I pull you out here, because I want you to listen to some of the calls that I have prepared.
Okay.
You know, kind of weigh things up, and you know, I just wanted to get your buy-in in terms of how would you feel. Okay, and you mentioned yourself you had a
Are
hard
you
time
going to let me listen to those calls? 'Cause
Exactly
I
right.
really don't have any idea.
Very good. We'll listen to them.
Okay.
And from there.
Alright.
And then I'll just give you the short introduction.
Okay. Which is very good. So thank you, Brian, for
Sorry to
helping
butt
out.
in.
No, it's okay.
Thank you
Kasi,
for helping out. So I like that. I like that. So still compose yourself. Be confident when you're coaching the agent. Because I would sense if you're confident and if you're not.
The only reason like I brought it to her attention like she's good because I know Jenkins as a person and she's more of just talking to you. I don't feel her technically like a controller unless you let her feel that you're a controller. A controller may be controlled by making sure that her being control attitude or behavior, you use that to your advantage to make her realize that oops, you're right, this is what I need to do, these are the strong traits that I have.
So let's say for example I'm done listening to those calls and then you're gonna continue your coaching session. How would you get my root cause? How would you get my root cause?
Alright, so we listen to
okay, so yeah, I've already listened to those calls and yeah, it's dead air. That's the reason why I think my VOC is low.
Right, so exactly my point. So tell me exactly what's your challenge? Why you're having challenges?
Well, sometimes I'm looking for the answers. As you can see me when you roam around, you can see me without my headset, and sometimes I'm searching for the answer. Sometimes I don't feel like, I'm really not comfortable. So sometimes I'm eating, sometimes I don't know.
That's a tough one. Chris, we're talking about, we're just gonna go back again to what you said, that you wanted to get that BOC. And you all know, at the end of the day, if you hit that BOC, you got good IOCR, you're hitting the CRT. So we're talking about your incentive, right? So I want to know from you, because I want to work with you. I want to meet you halfway to know the reason behind. I know you're searching for an answer. With your tenure, I could tell you a couple of calls that you have resolved already with the same exact calls.
Well, to be honest with you, TM, I'm really not focused because most of the time I just rest. No one is watching over me, so sometimes I go to the restroom and I go, it's gonna take time, and then that's the time I'll go back to my customer.
Right. Chris, I wanna.
So I think it's more on I'm not being coached on that, or it's not being addressed. Because I think you guys are really lenient when it comes to that.
Alright, that's not cool, Chris. Let me put a stop on that.
Okay.
You being a tenured, and we all know when we say the word Chris, they all know how good you are. Okay? So I want to, put you on a situation in terms of making sure that you're doing the right thing, even if no one is looking. Okay? To the things that you said, that you're looking for the answer, you're having a hard time, engage me by all means. I could drop by at your station, help you with that. We had a chat, we had a support. I know that we do not have a senior rep as of this time, but I can communicate with a nearby bay and have some help. Okay? But what I want you to do technically and put a stop is your attitude of just taking off your headset and not really onto resolving the situation.
Okay.
And you all know why. You said it yourself. You wanted that BOC.
Okay.
Badly, right? And with the situation that you have, I mean, I'm just laying all your cards. You got good voice. You got good tone inflection.
Okay.
On top of that, you have pretty much overcome the challenges about acknowledging issue. I just want you to continue, or I just want you to make sure that you keep that conversation with your customer. You tell them exactly what you're doing and the behind of your, or the things that you're doing so far in the call. Can you work that out for me?
Okay.
Okay. I want to address that eating. We could have a separate schedule maybe and have a lunch together.
Okay.
Make sure that we have a little pretty more chat about what what are the things that you have on a call that you could probably share to me that you're having troubles. Are you good with that?
Yep.
Okay. So are we clear about we will be working on this one? Because right after this one, I want to go out the door and make sure that we make that follow up.
Okay.
Are you confident doing that?
Yep.
Okay. So at the end of the day, you look. I just don't want to have this atmosphere that you look tired, you look not so cool. So I just want to make sure that we're doing this for you, for me, for the team. Are you cool with that?
Sure.
Okay. Can I have that commitment, Chris?
Yep.
I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page right here. I want to hear the new Jenkins out there. Or Chris out there. So what would Chris deliver with me?
I'll make sure to get the customer engaged.
Okay. So before we do that one, do you have an idea how to do it?
I think you missed that.
I know.
I think you missed
Sorry.
that.
I missed that one. You got me.
But that's okay.
I know. I was looking for an option.
That's a very good
Put
one.
it right there.
That's a very good coaching session. My only feedback on a very, very good presentation. You make me feel good, even though the news is not so good. So when we do the coaching session, the real coaching session, so we have to present the behavior.
Right. So
We have to provide what's the impact of that behavior if you're doing that. So let's just dig deeper. If the agent understood or understand the impact of the behavior, let's probably add to that aren't you aware that the impact of that behavior to customer when you're waiting in the line. So make sure that they understand the impact so that they would really understand. And then don't you know that that's a terminable offense? You can term that because that's really call avoidance, right? So we don't want to like coach the agent in a way that we're gonna make her still feel good about what she did, because we know for a fact that that's something that we are not or should not be tolerating.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So if there's a need for you to address that behavior, hey Jenkins, so those calls are actually call avoidance, right? So, but it's my chance to coach you on that, and I'm gonna give you a chance, but we will still be documenting those.
Okay.
Alright? That's part of the action planning. Because if you just let her do that without you addressing that, hey, that's call avoidance, then I would say, or I can assume that it's okay to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be reprimanding me on that.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's the only
Is
one.
that
Yep. One more thing is that probably shorten the period of you talking to me or making me understand everything, because I'm tenured, I know it, right? So probably giving the agent an extra time to express herself. So ask question wherein you can let her talk.
okay?
So what are those questions that can be asked to Jenkins? We all know Jenkins, right? Dion, do you have anything in mind? Feedback? How would you like let her, how can we make sure that we arrive or let her speak for herself
Make
on
her
what's the
realize.
reason? Right.
Maybe we can start by asking her, what do you think is the impact of
There you go.
the customer?
That's
What
what
part of your message will be affected?
Right.
It's really basic. So, hey Jenkins, those calls we've listened to, what do you think, or how do you think those customer would feel after those calls? Probably, then she would answer, right? So what do you think will happen if those customers receive a survey after the call? Do you think they'll give you a good score? No, right? what do you think you could have done differently on those calls? That's where the question that I have for you earlier, right? What do you think could have been done differently so that you can gauge the agent if the agent can do it, right? While in the moment of silence, what could have you been, done on the call? So to check if it's skill, if it's right knowledge, or if it's will. That's the root cause analysis, right? The process of elimination.
Yes.
So insert that one, right? And you can probably ask her, so what do you think is a good plan for us to do that? That's after you identify the root cause. If the agent mentioned that, if you were able to identify that the agent can do that, she's knowledgeable, then why is she not doing that? That's still not the root cause, right? So if Jenkins was able to say the phrases or the statements while on the dead air, then we all know that she's knowledgeable. She can do it. So what's the next step?
Well, based from the conversation, it will fall down. I believe it's a will kind of a root cause, right?
The one that I mentioned earlier, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes I'm just eating, sometimes I'm just walking around. No one is catching me. No one coached me on that.
Right. So I would definitely have that one bring up right after telling things like, what can you do about that, right? And how do you think I can help you with that, right? So will issues comes with action plan, more of reinforcement. So making sure that you are making her feel that you are monitoring her, right? So it's just more of reinforcements and stuff because she knows how to do it and we know that she can do it.
Right.
It's just a matter of you letting her feel that, hey, I'm watching, I'm here.
Right. So that's where authority comes in, right? Because she's the third one and you identify based on my root cause earlier that, hey, no one is catching me or caught me on this. You're just allowing set expectation. Right? Thank you, Dara. So no one has coached me on this. So on that piece, when the agent said that, then if it's your job to really, accept the fact that you haven't coached her on that, then say it, right? So this time I've coached you on this, so what I'm expecting is for you to really be on top of your. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So don't forget the normal process of coaching the agent, looking for the root cause. If the agent already mentioned the root cause, then attack the root cause. So reinforcement of what you're gonna do, your plan, right? So Jenkins, so you mentioned that you is removing your headset. So my expectation is that on the entire shift, except your breaks or lunch, I expect that you're not gonna be removing your headset. So the moment that I caught you not wearing a headset, then I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you as to why you remove it. I understand that sometimes you're looking for the answer, but what do you think is the impact if you remove the headset and you're not on proper hold? If you're just on mute? Most of the customers, then Jenkins would answer. Probably they might talk, but I won't be able to listen, right? The customer might talk, but I won't be able to listen. So what do you think is the impact if the customer talk like saying hello, 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 and you're not responding? Then the tendencies they may drop. Right? So go back to the normal process of asking the impact.
So you may want to use the action plan that Jenkins sit beside you, maybe,
Right.
because we all know that it took a couple of seconds before
Right.
from.
So so my point there is when you do the action plan, what do you? Which one?
Headset.
We could play the speaker.
Yeah, the speaker. So let's say for example, so when action planning, so yeah, it's a good action plan, but you have to ask for the agent's buy-in, right? So hey Jenkins, is it okay? Because I really want to monitor you and really want to assist you right there and then every time you have questions, so that you're not gonna be putting down your headset. Is it okay if you sit beside me? Right? If the agent would say, yeah, it's okay. All right, perfect. Right? So that I'll be able to provide immediate support. Something like that. Be specific on your action plan. Or, since you mentioned eating, right? Okay, Jenkins, so for 1 week, right? If for 1 week, if I caught you not removing your headset, there is no instance that you remove your headset, I'll reward you with a monster pizza. No, it's just a quick joke for the agent, diba? Kasi the agent likes eating. Something like that. So create something that's gonna be So don't let the agent like, demoralized or feel bad about it, right? So still balance it.
You gotta lose 10 pounds a week from now. You're not getting your head.
Make fun out of it. But that's not the root cause yet. We'll find out later on what's the root cause. So Ynah, your job is to prepare active listening. If this agent speaks out, then you have to really catch that root cause. Okay? So again, we're not coaching her on dead air. What are we coaching on? What are we coaching on?
Removing her headset.
Okay, that's not a behavior as well. So what's the you wrote it, right?
Keeping the customer engaged.
Okay. Don't forget about that.
Well, the agents can break.
Okay, let's wait for her. So let's prep up first. So you
Lunch.
make your
Tea break.
Lunch break, boss.
lunch break?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So that's okay. So I think it's gonna be okay if you're just gonna coach her one-on-one, and then let me just do a try-in. Yeah, I'll join the try-in.
I thought we would observe. Maybe we could post this one. Do you have the ability to post this one?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Let's
So do you want to observe?
I wanna
So
see
what-
the real Jenkins.
Okay. Okay. So what time is she going back from lunch? Okay. We can pause this one and then we can
Yep.
be
Resume.
back here.
After.
Okay, not a problem.
Alright, let's resume.
Okay, so please pause the video.